ride around on a scooter or an electric moped or whatever the case may be. Do a little fantasy football Q&A. Don't know how long I'll be here, but I'll be answering questions for as long as I can, at least. Hit me with your questions. I'll be here for roughly, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes, hopefully more. But file on in, hit that thumb up button. We're usually in the studio if this is your first time watching. This is just a little out and about sesh. What's up, Husseini? What's up, Travis? Travis in the building. All right, we're gonna get on our way. I gotta go. I thought about going for a run, and then I'm like, well, why don't I just get on my little electric moped and take it around town and answer some questions, and then go park somewhere and run. So that's what we're doing. We're answering as many questions as we can as we zip through the streets of Phoenix. Is it a safe little ride? I don't know. It's debatable. It's debatable, but you know, we're doing it. We're doing it live. I'm about to go on a overgrown brush there. All right, let's see what you guys got here. Gibbs at 1.1, of course. We've been saying it all off season. So, you know, you should have already been doing that. Sean, appreciate you, my boy. Sean to the moon. What's up? I don't know what your name is. Mel? Gore, something like that. I don't know. Appreciate you, though. Ray G in the building. Or the sunglasses. Hard to ride at night with sunglasses, my boy. Hard to ride at night with the sunglasses, with the Anti-Ojos del Sol. Woo! This thing gets it up to about 27 miles per hour. I always wonder if I put it together right, though. When I'm traveling at 27 miles per hour on concrete or asphalt, I always say to myself, did you screw everything together properly? Because I did have to put this thing together. And I don't have my glasses on, so you know, the vision at night isn't the best. Hopefully we don't hit one of those telephone pole wires that come down from the pole on the sidewalk sometimes in Phoenix. Clothesline myself. We're gonna meander on down to this place where I usually run. But I'll stop here and there and answer some questions. So. But we will. I'm gonna stop here at a light. This thing isn't quite street legal, so I can't really ride it in the streets. I do on side streets, like on non-busy streets. I'll ride it in the actual lane. You passed McDonald's? No, I didn't. There was no McDonald's here. Also, an electric bike. What electric bike you on? It's a what do you call it? Mevo. What is it? Milad. I was blanking out on the name of it. A Milad. They're pretty cool. They have some that have 2 motors and 2 batteries, so you can essentially go. I would say like 40 miles an hour instead of about 27, maybe 30 is what I can get this thing up to. I think the lighter you are, obviously the faster it will go. I'm about 210, well, I don't know. I was 210. I'm 214 right now. And if I was about 190 or something, I'm sure I could get to 30. But this is a Milad. I don't know the model of the Milad. The thing about Phoenix is like the sidewalks are jacked, and they have like let me flip the camera around. They have like the most jacked up streets of Phoenix. They have the most jacked up like telephone poles and wires and stuff just like in the middle of the road. So you have to really, sometimes there's 2 of them and you got to squeeze through there. So like this right here. There's a cop right there. They tend to leave you alone, but if they're bored, they'll pull you over. They'll pull you over because I don't know what the every city's different. Like it's like you ride these things on the shoulder probably, but how safe is it at night to ride this in the shoulder of the road? You know, like I'm not doing that. And then I always feel like I got a flat tire. All right, let's answer a few fantasy questions real quick. Hit me with them. A Milad, yes it is. Smitty in Arizona streets. That's right, Phoenix streets, baby. What else we got here? Who are top 3 players to draft for? What's your top 3 players to draft for Hall PPR? I don't know what that means, bro. What are my top 3 players to draft for Hall PPR? I don't know what that means. I'll tell you, Breece Hall took a hit, though. Look at this. Look at this right here. Like, look at this. You're riding through the sidewalk, and it's like, you know, you're going 27 miles per hour, and what are you supposed to do? So you swerve, obviously, but they're trying to. Breece Hall definitely took a hit, no doubt about it. Sorry. Breece Hall definitely took a hit, no doubt about it. I wish he didn't, but he did. But I don't think he like took a hit in the sense that you have wasted your draft capital on him. We're flying. Whoa. Man, we're going about 27 there. It's not like you wasted your draft capital on him because you drafted him at 3rd round value and he's got 3rd round value. So it's not like you're going to get what you paid for. But we all thought we were getting 1st round Breece Hall, Kansas City cheap Breece Hall, and we're not. And that does suck. All right, let's see what else you got here, fellas. Appreciate you all being here. Can smell that Arizona air. It's pretty cold out right now, especially when you're riding. But it's not like some of you guys deal with a lot worse than this weather. But it is a little bit chilly. I missed the time in Arizona. Yeah, Husseini was out here. I met up with him, gave him the Patrick Mahomes poster that I promised him. So that was cool, meeting Husseini to the moon. What else we got? All right, let's do a quick, I hope I don't run out of battery. Let's do a quick, Q&A session, and then I'm going to run. I'll show you the Milad though. So it's pretty awesome. I mean, it does look like a motorcycle. It looks like a bobber, I don't know, in a way. I mean, it really is like an electric moped, not really doesn't feel like an electric bike or anything, you know. But it's pretty awesome. So it's me, Lod. We call her beast mode. Or him beast mode, whatever. But it's not bad. All right. Hit me with your questions. Speed round, Q&A. Speed round. Fast as you can. Smash your questions. Go. Boom, boom. Happy Wednesday. What's up, my boy? All right. Drawing, what's going on? All right, fast as you can. So Breece Hall took a hit in terms of the expectation, but didn't take a hit in terms of like you were getting him at you know, steel territory. If he had gone to the moon and gone to KC, you would have had a first-round player at the cost of a third-rounder. Now you have a third-round player at the cost of a third round. And the disappointment and the deflating balloon effect, where everybody's balloon got deflated. Now all of a sudden it's like we might be getting this guy, Breece Hall, at top of 4, maybe mid 4, and then we're going to still get, you know, top of 3-round potential outcome. Okay, fast as I can here. Let's read these. Jalen Royal, what I think of Jalen Royals, I don't know. He had enough time to prove himself. I'm not going to buy into it yet. You know, I think he's, you know, good, but we never saw it. Top 5 players to draft in Hall, or at half. Oh, it's half PPR. I thought that said Hall. Maybe did you type Hall last time? It looked like Breece Hall when I was writing because it was shaking. And it looked like Hall. I'm like, what are the top 5 players to draft in Breece Hall? And I'm like riding like this. Top 5 players to draft in half PPR. Top 5, I mean, Gibbs, Bijan, I'd probably say Jamar Chase or Puka, and then JSN. And then I truly believe, you know, Genty will be in the conversation, but can't be riding. You know, like Ashton is a giant. He will be, yes. Christian Watson versus Emeka Buka. I take Buka all day. Buka rebounds big time. JD5 or Dart. JD5 not even close to me. I hate Nagy. I like Dart, but he's going to get hurt. He doesn't want to like change his ways or anything. Where do you rank JT and Bucky amongst the running backs? JT's like 6 to 10 this year, 5 to 10 even, and Bucky's like 8 to 14. You know, so there's some overlap. If JT's 6 to 10 and Bucky's 8 to 14, then that means Bucky could be 8 and JT could be 10. You know, so there's some overlap, but certainly the overlap, you know, is in the advantage of JT. Riley Leonard, the man. If Danny Dimes moves, no. Any first round expected picks you expect to flop? First round picks to flop in fantasy, not rookie. I think Christian McCaffrey's the one that I know it's so easy to be like, but you're settled at, but I mean, even more so this year, like sometimes you're a year early. It you know, Germany, you know, lesson learned, you go to Germany. But I mean, I still think, you know, you look at Christian McCaffrey's year and he wasn't good between the tackles. He dropped off big time. It's just Shanahan willed it, you know, threw the hell out of the ball to him, and you know. But I don't think they're going to be able to get away with that this year. So because McCaffrey certainly he visually dropped off and statistically dropped off in terms of running, like really bad. There's, you know, I don't think they'll be able to repeat what they did. I just don't think it'll happen. Happy PR. Yeah, I thought that was Breece Hall, bro. Run. So you are going to run like, as in run when you have a speed bike, or you mean run? I'm going to run like I'm going to run like around. Super Dynasty, like run a mile, running 2 miles. Superflex Dynasty, May and Penix at QB tried striking out Mendoza at 1.4, best player available. I'm not taking Mendoza over an elite player, like even Sadiq, man. Tomorrow I'll have a Sadiq video up, okay? Salute to you, Smitty. Thank you. Appreciate you. Justin Jettas versus Neighbors. I'm gonna say Jettas right now. I love Neighbors, but there's a couple things going on with Neighbors. Number one, I don't like Nagy. Number two, there's a real threat they draft Carnell Tate, real threat. And that would not be great. I'm not saying that I don't like Neighbors at all. And then Dart, scares the hell out of me in terms of staying healthy. But, I mean, I still love Neighbors, but I do think Jetta's returns to form. Like, that's a redraft. In Dynasty, did you ask me in Dynasty? So in Dynasty, I'd take Neighbors. But in redraft, I'm taking, okay, let me repeat that. Cost of entry, I like Jefferson. If I had Neighbors, I would get JJ and a whole bunch more in a trade. But I'm tempted to do that. I'm very tempted to do that. If I'm drafting, you're drafting them in different rounds. So, or at least very different places in the round. Neighbors is going to go about 5 to 8 picks, maybe, maybe more, maybe less than JJ. So you don't have to take JJ over Neighbors. But in redraft, I would certainly trade my Neighbors for JJ and something significant. In Dynasty, I'd rather have Neighbors because JJ will, if they do muck up this year, then JJ's another year older, and then, whatever. Odunze or who? LB3? Luther Burden? I would rather have Luther Burden right now. If Odunze gets traded to Buffalo or he gets traded to New England, different story. But Burden was drafted by Ben Johnson to be his St. Brown. The Niners O-line didn't help CMC that much either, and it's going to get worse because Kittle's out, so he's a big part of their blocking success. Their favorite streams, these are your favorite streams. You do 2 QB league. Okay. Full. I don't know what the question was at this point, bro. You gotta put it all in one. I don't know. Thank you. Neighbors in the second round or late first round. He's not really going in the late first round right now. And that's why I said when I kind of backtracked what I was saying is like they're not going in different rounds, JJ and Neighbors, but they're going to different parts of the round. But they're both kind of second round right now. This year's first round and second round picks are for Gibbs Keeper League. This year's first and second round. This year's first and second round. You mean you got to explain that a little more. You mean like you're giving up the vet picks in a keeper league where you keep Gibbs, and how many years can you keep him? I mean, of course I give up my first and second round for Gibbs. If you can have an additional keeper value that lasts more than like 1 year, top 5 to 6 up fix redraft QBs. Superflex? What? Top 5, 6 Superflex redraft QBs? God, this phone's jacking up, man. The text keeps flipping up when a new message comes up, and I have to keep dragging, and I can't even read these before they move on me. Top 5 or 6 Superflex? I don't know. I mean I would say number 1 is Josh Allen, and then it's honestly a tier break. I think that Lamar is up there. I think Drake May is up there. I think you could put JD5 and like Jalen Hurts in that steal category where it's like one of those guys a little later. Like if you could trade down and then gain something somewhere, like could hang. But I don't know. Top 5, I'm not real sold on locking in that like 4, 5, 6, 7 because they're so close. But I could definitely tell you that Josh Allen's 1, and I waver on 3 and 4. Drake May's probably 2. But Drake May's a locked into and maybe even borderline tie for Josh Allen if he gets A.J. Brown, so it's going to be kind of evolving. How many more weeks until we draft in the Wild Wild West? I'm not sure. Probably mid to late March, but it will be probably in March. The only reason it wouldn't be in March is if for whatever reason, I don't know, something happens and we can't fill, that we don't fill it fast enough because I'm doing so much, with the free agency. My guess is that the new league year is going to put it toward late March. I think JD5 reclaims glory this season. I do too. Sick nasty, I really do. What I think about Lemon on the Ravens. I don't like Lemon as much as everybody else. I think Lemon's got a lot of bust potential. I mean, he bombed his interviews. He didn't just have bad interviews. He like messed up, like big time. Like a lot of teams moved him down, and multiple teams said, I don't know what that kid's doing. I don't know where his head's at. I have no idea what. Like we're not sure what we think of him anymore. Like that's how bad Lemon was. He didn't have. Again, I can't emphasize enough. Lemon didn't have bad interviews. He bombed it. Like he literally, multiple teams said that they don't know what in the hell he was doing. Like, what's going on with him? What makes somebody act like that? You know, I mean, I don't know. I never liked him anyway. You know, at the level everybody else does. JD5 is my favorite QB besides Mahomes, says Husseini. I hope they sleep on him to the point he's free. Who? Dolphins need Kyler Murray. Kyler Murray wouldn't be horrible there, but your best bet's Malik Willis probably. I don't know what JD5. No one's sleeping on JD5, like to the point where he's free, but he's certainly underrated. But free, I don't think he's gonna be free. Lemon probably gets the Sanders treatment this year. He might. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if he get that treatment, because it wasn't like he hit like Deion Sanders and then Shador and all that, but like Lemon's not actually saying and doing the same things, but Lemon's certainly gonna fall on some boards, man. Lemon looked high. Yeah, I don't know what something was going on. Like he did not show up right. Let's just put it that way. Would I rather have Marv or Luther Burden in Dynasty? Probably Luther Burden right now. Burrow versus Mahomes. I would say in redraft Burrow, because you got Mahomes coming back from the ACL tear. Burrow versus Mahomes in redraft. Yeah, Dynasty, it would be closer. And I could argue either one. And I'd probably split it. If I had Burrow in one league, Mahomes in one league, I could split it. In fact, I'd probably prefer to split it. You know, if I've got one in one league and one in the other, I'm feeling good. I'll tell you this, I'd rather have 2 shares of JD5. I don't know, they're both kind of, I'd rather have, man, the thing about Burrow is like, you love him, and then we swear, like when he gets hurt or something, they're like, I can't do it anymore. And then you're like, I got to take Burrow. I mean, he's so good, but I don't know that I could draft him. If I had only 2 leagues, and I had to pick one to draft in both, I don't know if I could go Burrow. I think I picked JD5. I know JD5's coming off an injury-plagued season, but, you know, and a lot of people say he's too small, he's going to get hurt, whatever. I don't think I trust Burrow to stay healthy as much as I would trust JD5. And maybe that will change with another year or something of injury, but I mean, we've seen Burrow in that situation be so bad so many times in so many different ways, you know. And I love Burrow, and I'll draft Burrow this year. I just don't think I could put as many eggs in one basket with Burrow as I could JD5, even though both of them are kind of a type of player you probably say, I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. I'm just saying I put more of them in JD5's basket. Lemon's definitely an oddball. I mean, it's not even he's an oddball, bro. Oddball would be like Keon Coleman. He was an oddball prospect that was like, okay, he's a little weird. Or Leggett. Leggett was pretty, you know, off the wall. Winston's an oddball. Lemon's like a lemon. Like, it's not even, I don't even know if oddball is the right way to describe it. It's like, this guy is off his rocker. JD5 and Love in the backfield. I hope they draft Jeremiah Love, but I just don't know if he'll fall, but I hope he does. Jefferson for the 1.1 in Dynasty. I'd rather have the 1.1. I'd rather have Jeremiah Love than Jefferson, of course. What round MHJ going in redraft? Is his ADP good value? It's okay value. I think he's going like in 5. Can someone check MHJ's ADP on Underdog, promo code Smitty? Yeah, I don't know how Lemon. I mean, let's think about the last time somebody had Lemon's personality or whatever the hell was going on with them that succeeded. I'm just trying to, I'm seriously, genuinely asking. In football, you know, at a big time position, like a skill position player, not maybe there's a cornerback or something, but a quarterback, tight end, running back, wide receiver. When's the last time we had somebody act like Lemon did in his interview, succeed? Can anybody remember, especially like early on? Like, I mean, he was wild, bro. Would I rather have Love or Tyson? Wait, would I rather have Love or Tyson or Washington? You mean for Washington? Okay. I was gonna say, would I rather have Love or Tyson? Jeremiah Love, bro. But I think if we're gonna answer that distinctly in fantasy, like Jeremiah Love without question in fantasy, then doesn't that tell you that the production is probably there to say that in NFL terms too? You know, like the impact of Jeremiah Love over Tyson is probably the same in real life as it is in fantasy. And I love Tyson. I love Tyson a lot. But Jeremiah Love's the real deal, bro. DJ says 63 for MHJ. Okay. Yeah, Husseini, I'd say it's okay to take like one share out of 20. You know? So like 5%. I don't know. I can't get behind. I can't get behind it, you know. What are your thoughts on Bo as a top 5 fantasy football QB? I mean, he could dance there, but you certainly can't draft him there. You draft him as like an 8 to 14 guy, like maybe even like 9 to 4, maybe even 9 to 14, 9 to 15, and you hope that you get an 8 every couple seasons or something, you know. I mean, look at what he did last year. It's like QB6 or something like that. I mean, I really do like him, but I don't think you can draft him there. You just draft him at like 8 or 9 at the earliest, 8 or 9 QB, and then you hope you get a 6. And you might get a 6 like every third year. Carnell or Mackay in Dynasty. Well, Sandu, have you heard a thing I've been saying? Have you listened, Sandu, have you listened to a word that's been coming out of my mouth? Carnell or Mackay, do you think the Eagles' passing attack will be better than last year? It has to be. And even if they get rid of A.J. Brown, it probably is a little better. Just because it was such bad play calling. But, I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it'll be, but maybe it'll wash, actually. You know, the way you got to look at that is, okay, if A.J. Brown stays, it will be better. If A.J. Brown leaves, it will be worse than it should have been last year, but because last year was so bad, it might be even. So maybe a wash. My bad lacking. Well, I mean, I don't like Mackay Lemon, bro. Like, I don't know how many times. So, Sandu, I appreciate you. I ain't mad at you. Maybe you just walked in the door. But yeah, I mean, I don't like him. I don't like it. I'm not a fan, bro. And he had the worst interviews like ever. He literally blew the interview process so bad, just absolutely blew it. Thoughts on the Eagles asking price for A.J. Brown? I mean, I don't know 100% how accurate it is, but it's ridiculous. You know, a first rounder. But will they get it? I don't know. I don't think so. Maybe New England feels like they can win it, and they're like, let's pay it. But I don't think so. There might be something else involved, like a swap. You know, if you give a second rounder. I've been hearing Coleman's getting a revamp. Maybe. Why do you not like Mackay Lemon? Because, I mean, he's not a big guy. That doesn't necessarily mean you can't be good. We've had that kind of been a thing that's, I don't want to say been thrown out. It's still an obstacle when you're smaller, because it limits potentially where you line up. So it's possible that he doesn't. They only put him in the slot, which isn't necessarily a bad thing, but it depends where you're at. So if you're in the slot on a good offense where they can move you all over the field, like Cooper Kupp played in the slot when he had the Triple Crown, it's different, right? But he's smaller. He's not super fast. I didn't like him. I just didn't like his film, and anywhere near as much. I mean, I don't dislike his film, but to the level everybody's ranking him, like he's overrated. But I still think he's a good football player. Like, he's good. Could he be? His ceiling would, and I've said this over and over, his ceiling could be T. Higgins at best. But that everything has to go perfect for him. Where he's a really solid, second wide receiver on a team, or somebody tries to force him into the number one role on a team, and he kind of produces like we've seen Pittman produce in the past. Where Pittman's had a good year, but he's then he doesn't do anything. Or Deontay Johnson or Quentin Johnston or something, you end up having a result like that when you force number one wide receiver. Yeah, people comping him to Amon-Ra St. Brown and JSN is ridiculous. Mekhi Lemon can't even hold half of JSN's jockstrap. If we cut JSN's jockstrap in half and handed it to Mekhi Lemon, he couldn't hold half of it. Like, anybody comparing Mekhi Lemon to Amon-Ra St. Brown and JSN is I would not listen to that person. Let me just put it that way. Could Lemon smell it, though? I don't know. Burden or BTJ long term? I'd probably say BTJ still. Risky, Burden's safer. That's for sure. Burden's safer, but is the upside bigger? I'm gonna walk away from these people. They're like super loud. Washington. Washington with the second. Yeah, Washington's gonna. Lemons, yak, and hands are great though. I mean, they're all right. Again, I did my analysis before any of this negativity, and I told everyone's overrating Mekhi Lemon. He's not a bad player, and I'm not saying he's going to bust. People take what I say out of context. I'm just here to set the record straight that I think, it's my opinion, that he's completely overrated when we start talking about him like he's the number one wide receiver in the class, where Jordan Tyson runs circles around him. Carnell Tate could, but Carnell Tate comes with a little bit more risk of being mundane or being amazing once he gets into the league, because players mature so much differently. Every player matures differently at the next level. JD5 is an injury-prone player. He sure is, but right now, until he shakes free that label, you gotta ask yourself, will he stay healthy? And if he can shake free that label, which I think he can, I don't think he's locked into that. He's not an injury risk for the rest of humankind, but does he have to shake free that label? Absolutely. You're called injury prone, and then you're smaller and you end up getting hurt, and you come back and you get hurt and they take you off like that. There's concerns. He's got to shake that free. He's got to put on a little bit of weight. How's the weather in AZ? It's not bad. It's warming up a lot, but at night it gets a little cool, and the day it's hot as hell. especially if you're riding around. It's cold. I do know that the Mackay Lemon truthers are really, really dedicated. They're really dedicated. Like there's a lot of, why don't you like Mackay Lemon? Well, what's wrong with Mackay Lemon? Aside from almost every team saying he's off his rocker, and his interview is not only the worst interview ever, but almost destroyed all of his value. Like, we're pretty much maybe going to take him off our board. His interview was so bad. What's wrong with him other than that? Waddle or Rice in Dynasty? You know, I was gonna say that question's ridiculous, but then, then you think about it and you're like, well, is it ridiculous? Not really, because, Rice could get suspended for the entire season. He could never be allowed back into the league at all. He could not miss a game. But here we go again with Rashee Rice. BTJ for New England. I mean, we hope that New England does something big. New England's really going to potentially try and hit a home run. At Buffalo, we're like hoping Buffalo does something. Buffalo probably won't. Hopefully they do. But New England feels like they got this close, man. And they fell because they didn't have that other player to you can't ask Josh Allen to keep carrying. The Cook's playing well, so they kind of have that extra piece. Hendy, they could use Hendy. I wish they'd use Hendy. But they definitely need that wide receiver because Drake May's a gunslinger. And if I think that New England is sitting there going, we need to get that guy. That's why they let Diggs go. We need that guy that can carry May to that next level, which will then return a championship. That's where their head's at. They're not sitting there going, "Oh, we're not gonna touch the wide receiver position. We're good." They're not going to do that. They're not going to do that. Now, will they strike out? Will they go for AJB, strike out, go for BTJ, strike out, try and get Mike Evans, strike out, and then all of a sudden they're settling and they're like, damn it, they missed on everything. Romeo Doubs is pretty good. I don't know that that's where I wanted to end. Alec Pierce is looking for a new home. Drake May's a real attractive spot. New England Patriots are an attractive place. I really get a feel that Alec Pierce is going to be a real option for New England. Like, if I had to predict, New England has one of the not as big attractive pieces, I believe it'll be Alec Pierce. And Alec Pierce said today that he deserves to go test free agency, and he talked pretty badly about his old situation. And I don't think he wants to go back. I don't think he wants to go back at all. And money's going to talk. This wide receiver class is pretty strange. The wide receiver free agent pool is pretty strange. And I could certainly see Alec Pierce getting way more attention than he probably deserves, and also getting more money than he probably deserves, and he lands in a spot that maybe he doesn't quite fully look like he's going to live up to it. Maybe he does. I'm rooting for him, but it's a tall order for the kid to walk in. Is he a Michael Pittman? Is he a Quentin Johnston, but better, that deserves to be, a lot of attention? Draws a lot of attention, but does he deserve to be the number one? And will he live up to the expectation, or will the expectation and the facing of the best corners every week and trying to shoulder the weight of the number one wide receiver in a room that really commands a monster like New England's kind of commands? Will he crumble from that? Will he grow from that? Hard to say. We haven't done a poll yet. Let's do this. Let's see here. Where'd you go to college? All right. How do I get out of here? Let's see here. Where's the polls at? I was gonna put a poll up. Let's see here. Okay, here we go. They moved everything around. The Patriots get AJB. Alec Pierce or Evans or BTJ. Let's say you have to pick one of these. Or, you know what? Let's make Evans other. And if you think it's Evans, you can vote other or, you know, be vocal. All right, here we go. All right, vote on that. Look at the poll go. AJB taking a nice little lead. Oh, Alec Pierce ripped the lead back. 33-33. Who here has Waymos in their state? That's a driverless car. Some of you guys are shocked when you see them. I think they're kind of going around every state now, or a lot of them have them. But we have Waymos. They're just driverless cars. They're wild. They don't get in as many accidents as you'd think too, but they definitely get confused sometimes. But I rode on one. But who has a Waymo in their or a different version of Waymo driverless car? I like BTJ long term for New England. I do too. Did you go to college? Yes, I went to college twice. I graduated from ASU twice. BTJ, 21%. Alec Pierce, 33. AJB, 38. Pats need to get AJB and Denzel Boston. Yep. It definitely shouldn't end on one. Like, go get Dobbs and then sign Dobbs and then bring in AJB or BTJ. What was my degree? I got a degree in psychology, and then I got a master's in from the Cronkite School of Journalism. Boston, Cooper, Brazil. Yeah, I like Boston. I like Boston a lot. What third-year wide receiver do I like? It's a good question, Sandu. I don't know. Maybe I'll do a video on that. Cooper's a monster. Cooper's nice. I don't mind Cooper. I'm gonna do a Sadiq video tomorrow, so get ready for the biggest Sadiq prediction on the market. There's no bigger Sadiq prediction in this racket than the one I'm going to drop tomorrow. All right? So get ready for it. Do we think the Raiders would consider taking Omar? Maybe. I don't see the Eagles moving AJB without big payment. Well, we'll see. What QB would make me excited about G. Willis, I guess. Past that, I don't know. I mean, I got Garrett Wilson in a couple Dynasty leagues, and I can't get rid of him. And I don't really want to get rid of him, but I also don't know what I'm going to get. I have no clue. What do I think about David Montgomery to Texans? Not a whole lot. I mean, he was kind of going like this anyway, man. I don't know why everyone thinks he's just going to like springboard back into an elite running back. I think he'll be good. I think in best ball he's really good, because think about how good Algier was in best ball, or Blake Corum. That's the one thing we're going to push a little more in best ball this year, is like getting a guy that's going to just participate. And Monty's not going to cost an arm and a leg, although I don't know where his ADP climbs. Maybe it climbs to a ridiculous height. But, I mean, yeah, man, I don't know. I think I can't draft him in redraft. I think he's going to get hurt. I'd be very, very shocked if he didn't get injured. Why do I think he'll get injured? Because he's running behind probably the worst offensive line in football with one of the worst offensive coordinators that they decided not to fire. Like, what a boneheaded move. You don't fire one of the worst offensive coordinators in the league. It's because they're going to scapegoat him. They want to buy themselves more time. Hey, if we keep him, we can blame it on him next year. Give ourselves one more year. That's just ruin Brees Hall, yeah. Smitty, I know you love the Saints the most, so which player for love? The Saints? I like the Saints probably. I like Washington and the Saints maybe the same for love. I kind of like the Cardinals are growing on me. I'm a little worried about them going to the Cardinals because the Cardinals keep screwing up players like MHJ and Kyler, and so part of me is a little worried, but it's a new staff. I can't continue like just saying, oh, it's a Cardinals curse. I don't believe in that crap. I believe an organization can be run so badly that the same mistakes get made and they scrimp and all that. So that could be part of why, and it could rub off. But the thing about Jeremiah Love is, MHJ was, in hindsight, if we're being honest with ourselves, we thought he was as good as Jeremiah Love is right now. Let's be frank. That's how we felt. But he wasn't. And sometimes that happens. And I think MHJ still got talent. I think he could still be a good player. But he definitely was not what Jeremiah Love, I believe, is, for sure. I know Love is that guy. And I'll take the L if I'm wrong. I mean, I take the L on MHJ. I was really high on MHJ. I think he's still got a shot, but I think what my point is, I don't think you can really screw up Jeremiah Love. I don't think it's possible to screw up Jeremiah Love. And I have a lot of faith in LaFleur, and I don't love the Hackett signing, and it does make me question LaFleur a little bit. Like, why he would think that Hackett was a good signing. A good offensive coordinator is beyond me, but because he's not calling plays, I'm not as concerned. And from a dynasty perspective, you're talking about maybe being there a year. If he sucks or doesn't contribute, much, then we'll see a different offensive coordinator in there. Sandu says MHJ is going to break out this year for sure. I own him in 50% of the leagues. Well, that's why you think he's going to break out for sure, because you own him in 50% of your leagues. So I understand where you're coming from. Let's hope the Cardinals stick to the plan and use Brissett, but they haven't really been too vocal about it. But I think it's because they were trying to trade Kyler and they didn't want to say anything. But I mean, there's a lot of talk about Willis going to Arizona, but the good thing about that is if they kept Willis and Brissett, pretty safe to have both of them. They could get rid of Brissett. Yeah, if they brought in Willis, they would get rid of Brissett. They're not going to get rid of Brissett if they don't bring in Willis. But if they end up bringing in Willis and they trade Brissett, what are they going to get for him? Who's going to trade for a 30-year-old quarterback? Ty Simpson. I would love for the Cardinals to take Simpson. Yeah, I do. Jeremiah Love, Simpson, roll with Brissett, bridge quarterback. If it fails, you got Simpson, you put him in. I think Simpson could be really, really good. But I don't think Simpson slips. I think Simpson probably is the second best quarterback in the draft. Thus, he would go in the top 20. I don't think Simpson gets out of the top 20, bro. Mac to the Vikings. I mean, yeah, we talked about that a lot. That, you know, if Addison were involved, there's a talk about Naylor right now. A lot of talk about Naylor and how they like Naylor, and it's like, you know, why is that coming up? Why is, you know, are they they're gonna really try and keep Naylor on the team? And that makes sense, right? If they're thinking about shopping Jordan Addison. Jordan Addison's always getting into trouble. So if you could get Mac Jones for cheaper than a freaking first rounder, what the Niners want, yeah, you throw in a receiver. Niners are in trouble. So definitely a possibility. Definitely. Niners could very much be in the Mac Jones for a wide receiver and draft pick mix. All right, everybody, appreciate you. Any final question? I'll go through a couple more. Yeah, my gut on Mac is that they do trade him. I think there's a lot of posturing right now. You got to understand that just because things look like they're going in a bad direction, sometimes they don't. You know, like Max Crosby's probably getting traded, which, you know, we talked about this before. Like Travis even said on the phone line that if you're gonna trade him, now's the time. You know, you get max value. You wait a year and a half. You might have people worried about injury again or something. You know, right now you can get rid of him for max value, and Max Crosby for max value. So it's smart if they get the right deal, the right package. If Pickens and Max are involved in a deal together, that makes sense. If Mac Jones and Jordan Addison are involved in a deal, that makes sense. Imagine if I decided instead of driving, I'm having some yard work done and I've got my car backed in, which is why I took this tonight. I have my vehicle backed into our driveway's full of sand and cinder block because I'm having a fence moved, and our driveway has two cars you can park in it, and so half the driveways, so my car's in the back, Miss Smitty's car's in front of mine. I didn't want to move them, and so I'm like, I'll just hop on the bike and head over and get some drinks, maybe run. So I'm gonna load up on some vitamin waters. This thing comes in handy. Yeah, DJ Moore is tough to, you know, I don't know if they're going to get rid of him or not. I love how people try and scapegoat him, like as if he was the one that, you know, lost the playoff game. You know, like, it can't be Caleb's fault, right? Can't be. He ran the wrong route. You know, everybody and their mother with their breakdown and analysis on where DJ Moore was supposed to be. He's supposed to cut right here. You don't know where he was supposed to cut. You know? And Caleb, you know, Caleb didn't exactly, you know, Caleb tried to take the high road, but he still kind of, everyone's like, Caleb didn't blame it on him. He just said he ran. No, Caleb blamed it on him in a real subtle, like, I'm not blaming it on him, but, you know, we're on the wrong page. Yeah, well, you know, I know a lot of quarterbacks that would have thrown the ball where Caleb did when DJ Moore wasn't where DJ Moore wasn't. Like, I mean, what are we talking about here? Orange vitamin waters. I don't like orange vitamin waters. I like the yellow. The yellow energy. They might look orange in my studio lighting, maybe. Yeah, if I had to guess where what I like about psychology, everything. That's why we do fantasy football and psychology. Just the art of trading, the art of negotiation, the foot in the door phenomenon. They look orange in the videos. DJ Moore, if he gets traded, I could see him in New England for sure. Where's the Cuban chain? Not on me now. I think ETN stays. I mean, probably not. Is there a chance? Yeah. But, I mean, kind of feel like if he was going to stay, they would have franchise tagged him. But they certainly could be trying to, just say, like, they've agreed. He doesn't want to go anywhere, and they're like, we'll make it work, and they're like, let's not put the money on the tab. Why is Buffalo stubborn with the receivers? I don't know, bro. I have no idea why they don't get a receiver. All right, I'm out of here. Appreciate you all. I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do got to do a Dynasty show tomorrow. I haven't done a Dynasty show in a couple days. Go get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com. I've worked on that thing. The bold prediction board is awesome now, if you haven't checked it out. Go check out everything. It's been the whole site's been completely revamped. And the tools are off the hook. And player pages. I don't have all the pages up right now. I have Bijan's, Jahmyr Gibbs, and I don't know if that's it right now. Might have. Yeah, I think that's it right now. Bijan, Jahmyr Gibbs, go to their player pages and then go to the bottom and there's a comment section. It's going to be such a great place to gather information, get people's takes, read a couple people's takes on the player, and it'll help influence you on what you're doing with trades and everything. So thefantasyfootballshow.com player pages, go to Jahmyr Gibbs and Bijan's, go to the bottom, participate in the comment section of each player page. It's going to be an awesome place to congregate on topics for that player specifically. So I'll see you over there. All right, guys. Thank you. See you tomorrow.